name is Gabriella Coughlin. I am a current senior at Florida Gulf Coast University, and I am currently interning at Arise Center for Athletic Development in Jupiter, Florida. This experience has been a whole new thing for me. I have never really worked in a gym or in like an athletic field or with like student athletes or anything like that. So it's a whole new experience, and on the first day I was super nervous because I didn't think I knew anything going in. Of course I went to school and I learned a whole lot of stuff, but I just didn't think that I knew what they were expecting. Like, I didn't know what they were expecting, so I didn't really know what to expect going in. I knew that I had to work hard and try my best and learn as much as I could. So going in the first day, when I first stepped foot in the gym, I met the athletic trainer named Jen, super nice, and then I also met the other intern named Alex. After we went over the app, after we got logged in and got through all the technology stuff about looking at the schedule and going through the app, she showed us how to look at the schedule on the app to see like who's coming in at what time and when, so then we would have an idea of how many people were coming in. After that, I met with David Donatucci and we got started. He gave us our shirts for work. I'm wearing one. And we just started. He took us through the dynamic warm-up. He took us through foam rolling. He took us through using the lacrosse ball or tennis ball to roll out your TFL, wall quad, went through the first set of correctives, and then basically took us through a whole workout to show us what a workout would be for one of the clients. So we did a core series and then we went through a normal workout. We also went through the Zoid ladder and the dynamic warm-up, like I said earlier. And the Zoid and the dynamic are sometimes used for the essential groups, who are the kids 13 and younger. And we really needed to learn the Zoid ladder because as interns we were kind of in charge, not really in charge, but we took the essentials through their workouts. So we went through a workout with Dave, and later that day 2 essentials came in and we took both the kids through that, and it was an experience. I had never worked with kids and coaching them through exercises before, so that was interesting. I realized how common, not really common, but how over the time I've been here, I've learned that like kids don't really understand correct movement, so you have to really hands-on help them figure it out, because without that then they're lost. You tell them to do one thing, they're going to do something completely different because that's what they think that you meant. So either I would show them how to do it and they would mirror me, or I would help them. Like, for example, if a kid was squatting with a kettlebell in his hands and his knees were going in, and I told him his knees to go out, he would like look at his knees and say they are, and I'd be like, no, they're not. So I'd have to like help him like push his knees out a little bit so that he would realize what he needed to fix.
So this is what the app looks like. As you can see, if you click on the 3 dashes on the top left corner, we can get to the appointments to check and see who's coming in at what time, so we can see who to expect when. When creating programs for our athletes, we first start with their correctives and what they need to work on based on how they scored on their evaluation. And then after that, we'll create a core series that they will perform. After their core series will be their main lift, which consists of 6 workouts with correctives with each one. And we usually base each workout on what kind of sport they play and what they need to work on. For example, golfers need a lot of rotation, so we'll add rotational work for them, and so on and so forth.
Maybe like some variations of extra rotation.
I know, she's done that a lot.
Maybe we could do like a cable with this, like 4 steps each way. Maybe a cable isolate, 4 steps this way, 4 steps that.
I was able to create some workout plans for some individuals, and when doing this, I would sit down with some of the trainers and we would plan each workout and go through step by step what we think would work best in their workout. And then I would give ideas and we would communicate back and forth on what we think was best for them. This process also helped me understand why they perform each exercise. Here we had one of our athletes using the timing lights, and the whole point of this is just to get her moving and getting her warmed up for her lift. So she was going after the blue light and it would pop up randomly, and she would have to run and tap it for it to go out and go to the next one. In this clip, one of our clients is performing a med ball granny toss, and as you can see, she's squatting down and throwing the ball over her head. However, this is not correct form. In the next clip, you can see that I am cueing her to hinge at the hips, and to get a better feeling for this, I told her to put the ball down and do the motion from her knees to get a better feeling for the hinge. And after doing a few reps of that, I told her to stand up and perform the movement, hinge at the hips, and throw it over her head. The same client will be performing an RDL, and as you can see, she is hinging at the hips and keeping her shoulders back. As her hips stop moving, she will then extend the hips fully to complete the rep. This next exercise is called the half kneeling press out, and as you can see, he's in a half kneeling position and the knee is on the outside leg so that it's pulling him inward, so therefore he has to fire his abductors, and this will help in his bigger movement to make sure that he's keeping his knees pressed out. We want to make sure that the band is placed right above the knee instead of higher on the thigh, so I had to adjust it so that it was in the correct spot for him. Next exercise is called versus wall side lying abduction, and as you can see, his foot is placed on an elevated surface and then he is sliding his leg up the wall to activate his abductors. Here, one of our athletes is performing a landmine deadlift to shoulder press, and as you can see, we want his hips to rotate all the way through. We want him to keep a neutral spine, his core braced, and again, we wanted to make sure that his hips were following all the way through. In this clip, one of our athletes is performing a military press, and we want to make sure his core is staying braced and he's keeping a neutral spine throughout the whole movement. This next exercise is called the resisted torso rotation, and this exercise is to help separate the torso and the hips, so we want to make sure that he is rotating only his upper half and not his hips. This is a great exercise for golfers in creating the separation between the upper half and the lower half on their backswing. As you can see here, our client is performing a trap bar deadlift, and she is keeping her back neutral, her core braced, and she is hinging at the hips and bringing them all the way through at the top. In this clip, our client is using the VersaPulley, and the VersaPulley combines speed, power, and functional mobility through any range of motion, and he is performing VersaPulley squats. Here, our client is performing the bar back squat, and as you can see, our trainer is there spotting him in case he needs help or if he starts to struggle with his reps. The trainer is also actively cueing him throughout his movement to make sure he is performing the squat with proper form. Up next, you can see our client performing a front rack bar Bulgarian, and he's doing a great job of keeping his core braced throughout his whole movement, hinging at the hips and going down instead of just squatting down to touch the pad below him. So doing a great job at keeping all of his weight in his front foot and just using the back foot for support. Each one of our clients goes through mobility, whether it be a full day of mobility or at the end of each workout. And this is just to make sure that they are not overtraining and that they are getting the proper recovery that they need. These next 2 clips are just a few examples of some of the mobility exercises our clients will complete. One of the projects I took a part in was filming videos. These videos are mostly for our online clients due to them not being able to ask questions about exercises. We would film the video and then we would type up a description, and then we would have Amazon Polly generate an audio file for each description. We would then overlay the video and the audio and upload them to the exercise portal that each client has access to in order to complete each exercise with a step-by-step description.
Hi, my name is Masai Tutson. I'm one of the trainers here at the Arise Center for Athletic Development, where Gabrielle has been doing her internship this semester. Gabrielle has made a lot of progress since she started her first couple of weeks. She was a little apprehensive to kind of jump into the role of a strength coach. She did a lot of coming to us trainers to ask, if someone should have been corrected on this motion or, that exercise or what have you. But as she kind of got her feet wet and learned more of like the fundamentals behind what the exercise is trying to achieve, she got really a lot more comfortable kind of taking the athlete or the client aside and explaining what they should be focusing on or what they should be doing. And from there, it all just kind of got better and better. She's got a lot more confident in her role as the coach versus just kind of like an intern learning what should be done. She understands that she has the skills that she needs, and now she's working on applying them, and she's doing a really good job at actually putting her skills into motion. She's been, taking some of our youth athletes, some of our youth groups even, and leading them through their workouts. She's, still doing a great job of coming to us when she needs more clarification on any given topic. But, she does a good job of, being confident and, taking the initiative and going ahead and to, correct the athlete when they need it, encourage them on where they're doing well, and all in all, just actually, applying the skills in the setting. So she's doing a good job.
When Gabby first arrived here at Arise, honestly, she didn't come out of her shell just yet. I would say the best thing that she did was begin to ask questions to everyone and anyone that's been involved and knew the workouts, knew the exercises. She did a great job of retaining the information and the correct form and why we move this way, why are we doing the workouts in general to see what we activate and how it translates into the specific sport. I think the best way that she grew was honestly just taking the leap, and even if she didn't know, take the chance and trying to do what's best to her knowledge. And if it was correct or incorrect, the other trainers like myself and the few others inside the gym would either correct her or applaud her for doing a good job. She's also very strong at making relationships with anyone of ages from youth to our oldest clients. So she does a great job of finding ways to connect with people and be a smiling face on maybe what will be a long day for some or short days for others. I'd say moving forward for the next internship that Gabby has, I think that she's going in with a lot more knowledge than a lot more other gyms can really give, because we paid so much attention to detail. And I think that this internship for her has been great, and I think she would agree.
Hi, my name is Brianna, and I interned with Gabrielle at Arise. A couple tips I would have for someone interning here would be speak loud, gives you confidence even when you feel like you don't have any. 2, take initiative. If you see something that's not where it's supposed to be, put it away. Clean some machines if they see things are slow, feel like you have nothing to do. Another one would be, don't be afraid to correct someone on their form if you know it's wrong, even though it might be a little intimidating. As for working with Gabriella, I'm glad that we interned at the same time. She made this a worthwhile experience. One, just having someone to talk to, ask for some help as well. And second, just watching her see how much she loved what she was doing and really interacting well with anyone who came into Arise.
Hello, my name is Skylar and I work at Arise. I've been training with the trainers at Arise for a little over 5 years, but have really gotten serious about it in the past couple of months, and I've definitely gotten stronger. Gabby often helps me with my workouts. She also makes workouts for me and has introduced me to many new exercises. Gabby is very positive and helpful during my workouts, and I really enjoy training with her.
Hi, my name's Alex Morales. I'm an intern at Arise. A couple tips for incoming interns is when you first start in here, try and get here early. This way you could pick the trainer's brains before you start the day. Tip number 2 is when you first get in here, be ready to learn. There's a lot of exercises that you might not know, a lot of new different stuff that they might not teach you in school. Just be ready to learn. And going off that, tip number 3, don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of different exercises in Arise, a lot of different activation stuff that you might not have seen in school. Just be ready to learn and ask questions, and this way, so when you're instructing these exercises, if somebody asks, you know why you're doing it.
When interning at Arise, some of your duties include coaching, cueing, cleaning, and learning as much as you can. Of course, you're not always going to be cleaning, you have to work with the clients, but when it's slow, you should make sure that you are cleaning to make sure that we are following the CDC guidelines and making sure everyone's healthy and that it's a safe place for everyone to work out in. I also believe that I've been able to grow and speak because my first couple weeks there, I really didn't say anything. I kind of just followed everyone around, and I would, instead of cueing them myself, I would go to a trainer and ask them if they're doing it right. And by doing that, I was listening to their tips and how to cue and figure out how to coach an athlete or an individual through an exercise. So after that, I spoke up more, so then I was able to coach them myself instead of asking the trainers every time, is the client doing this right? Is there something that needs to be fixed? Instead of doing that, I would be able to coach them myself, and I think I'm doing better at it. So that's good. And of course, there's always more to learn, but I think I've learned a lot, and it's been a great experience, and I've had a lot of fun doing it.